Hey everybody, it's PDubs, and if you happen to own, and possibly still own one of these Arcade1Up virtual pinball machines that came out a few years ago, Team Encoder is back at it again. That's right, Team Encoder, the team behind the Arcade1Up Pinner mod for that virtual pinball machine, as well as dozens of mods for various Arcade1Up cabinets. Well, they're back again with another potential upgrade mod that they're considering releasing to the community for these virtual pinball machines. And it's a very interesting idea, and we're going to talk about it next. Okay, guys, we are back, and the Arcade1Up pinball machines, these things came out to a lot of fanfare a few years ago, but mixed reception. Some people love them for their simplicity of use. Some people don't. There were some issues with the Attack from Mars pinball machine. They eventually did a firmware update. That firmware update opened the keys to the kingdom for Team Encoder and others to come up with some mods for these machines, such as that pinner update. And with that pinner update, people were able to then access Pinball FX on Android, and that way they could legally purchase, play, and download more games and play them on their pinball machine. And despite the fact that this product had its misgivings, let's be honest, some people liked it, some people hated it. You had to pick your flavor, you pick your choice. I myself ended up selling mine once I got into the AtGames Legends Pinball, and obviously I've stuck with the AtGames Legends Pinball HD and 4K for virtual pinball platforms. Now, one of the biggest issues with these Arcade1Up pinball machines is the fact that a lot of people over the last few years, have experienced their PCBs burning out on them. That's right, the PCBs were encased in metal with not sufficient cooling involved, and a lot of folks saw their PCBs burn out over time. Now, what's interesting is a lot of people discovered that if you decase those PCBs, it helped with the longevity, but it seems like it's still going to end up happening at some point. The Arcade1Up PCB boards will potentially and most likely burn out on you on whether you have the Star Wars, the Marvel, or the Attack from Mars virtual pinball machine. But not all heroes wear capes, because the Team Encoder folks have come up with a solution, and what they're looking at here for you guys is a whole new PCB that you'll be able to hot swap inside of your Arcade1Up pinball machines, along with a couple other needed parts, which we'll discuss here in a minute. But that's right, their own PCB that will have the ability to work with the DMD, work with the main playfield screen, work with the built-in accelerometers, the plunger, and your flipper buttons, and the solenoids, which sounds very, very interesting for those who maybe have a dead machine in their home or want to just go ahead and update it or upgrade it over time. So Team Encoder themselves put out an announcement here on Discord saying that, hey, we got some news to share. We want to get your guys' feedback on this. So I'm definitely going to need your guys' feedback and comments and reactions in the comments section of my video, because I'm pretty sure Team Encoder is going to look at it. And they wanted to let you guys know about something they've come up with the Arcade1Up pinball machines, based upon the fact that they've had stock PCBs die and all that kinds of stuff. So what they're doing is basically, we're going to summarize what this all says. They have a new off-the-shelf SBC. That's right, an SBC, or single board computer, or PCB board, as some of you like to call it. And that particular one is something that we'll be able to purchase, as well as we'll be able to purchase separately an LVDS converter board. As you guys know, these are those HDMI to LVDS converter boards, which we use for a lot of arcade modding, especially Arcade1Up modding over the last 7 years. And of course, that'll be compatible with the stock display screen, which obviously, which PCB board and which converter board you would need to order in order to do this mod. Obviously, links to those, probably Amazon links, will be shared closer to release. The most important item on here, of course, is getting the Team Encoder hat. The Team Encoder hat. So what's interesting about the hat is hardware attached on top. So if you take a look at the PCB board, you'll notice that there's your PCB board right underneath here, and then up here you have the hat, hardware attached on top, HAT. And what this does is it basically, think of it like your Sega 32X, plug-in You know, you plug it in, and it enhances the console, right? Something of that nature, or like a Game Genie or something of that nature. Think of it, just thinking of trying to think of some retro gaming stuff we can relate this to. But obviously, this will connect via the pin boards on the PCB, sits on top of it, and now it'll give you additional functions, including, look right there, guys, your HDMI outs. That way you could do the HDMI out to the stock backglass DMD that comes with Arcade1Ups. Luckily, Arcade1Ups were smart enough to make those screens HDMI compatible. But of course, when it comes to the playfield monitor, the 24-inch playfield monitor, those playfield monitors on Arcade1Ups need that HDMI LVDS converter board, right? So either way, you're going to buy the SBC, you're going to get the hat from Team Encoder. I don't know yet where they're going to sell these or how much, and you'll be able to then have your own PCB inside of the machine. Now, you might ask yourselves and say to me, well, PDubs, why is that important and what can we do with this? So there's some of you who might just like the way the stock games included on those Arcade1Up pinball machines play, so you'll still be able to access those through that PCB board. You'll still be able to access the Arcade1Up pinner mod and the Arcade1Up user interface with the original games, right? As you guys know, the games are out there. All 30 games, the APK files are out there. I can't share links to them or discuss that more in detail, but whatchamacallit, these are the stock games included running off of the PCB board with the Arcade1Up hat and that VS display, right? So this is a test run that they're showing us that their PCB works, and you'll be able to access the normally included games. But not only that, just like the pinner mod where you could, you know, do that software mod to the Arcade1Up PCB, you were able to access, if you guys remember, Zen Pinball, which Zen Pinball on Android, because these are Android games running on the hardware. The original games were Android, etc. So you can access Zen Pinball. That way you could legally purchase and buy more games to play on your pinball machine, which a lot of people did, right? A lot of people did the pinner mods, and of course they went ahead and with the pinner mod, you were able to download the Zen Pinball Android app, and whatchamacallit, you were able then to purchase and play more games, which was really, really cool. And you never know, maybe, just maybe, there's potential in the future where other virtual pinball type games you'll be able to get on this SBC, get them loaded, get them running with this new single board computer, PCB board, and the modifications from Team Encoder. So that's pretty exciting stuff as well. I'm sure there will be a lot more about that to come down the road. And I definitely just wanted to share this update with you. They're thinking about releasing this. They want to know if there's people interested in this, or they basically might need it for a fix. Let's say your Arcade1Ups have burnt out and you're looking for a replacement, and getting parts from Arcade1Up really is difficult in this day and age. So you never know. This could be a beneficial just as a repair for certain customers who have paid for their machines. Let me know what you guys think about this, and are you interested? Do me a favor, give me your thoughts, feedback, comments, reactions below. Give us a thumbs up on the way out, and thank you for subscribing.